Okay, Campus Point, gone. Coal Oil Point, gone. Refugio, gone. And Point Conception, gone. All in one fell swoop.
Well, they took, they wanted Tahigas and Naples,
Yeah.
which is...
Okay, you got the east end of you got the west end of Cat from the west end, the point itself, out to 3 miles, all the way in beyond Ribbon Rock, closed out to 3 miles. You've got from backside of the isthmus, Blue Caverns, all the way up to Harrow Point, out 3 miles, gone, no fishing whatsoever.
They're going to grab Shiprock and Bird Rock with that.
All in one fell swoop.
Yeah.
Okay, from here, this is Sentinel Rock, all the way out to the west, all the way down and around, and that is Salta Verde. Gone. Okay. And then, you know, yeah, you got Long Point all the way up through, you know, you're down here by Sally's Galley, basically, and you're all the way up past Italian Gardens with that one.
So maybe they want to open up Casino Point.
Yeah, okay, it wasn't enough for them. Now, you remember you saw the picture of Alpha, right? You see where the red dot is? You remember how they had Alpha drawn out here? That wasn't enough for them. They want all the bedrock and they want the entire other side of San Nicolas.
What's the deal with the little circle at the tip?
That's bedrock.
There's a rock sticks out there.
Big, important rock pile sticks out of there. It's some of the roughest water in the entire state, bar none, because it's just so far out there. It catches everything weather-wise. On a flat day, it's 5 foot. It's gnarly. Incredible scallop diving if you can hang on the surf. For free divers, it's tough because you're in the wash tub, so you'll get sick, man, pretty quick. It's tough diving. Okay, they didn't have enough with Wilson Cove. You notice they didn't collect Wilson Cove in this. Okay, so Wilson comes down here even farther, but they did take all of Northwest Harbor and everything around it, which was nice of them. Then they came back here from like up above Eel Point and went all the way down around and took out Pyramid Head, or took out China Point. And then they came back because China Point wasn't enough. They got Pyramid Head and they came all the way up here to Wagon Tracks, White Rock. Then you get over here, they close Aguadonia, they close Batiquitas, they close Cardiff, they close, this is all the way from like Black's Beach up in there, and it goes all the way down through all of La Jolla, around the corner. That's the mouth of Mission Bay right there. So they get almost to the mouth of Mission Bay, out 3 miles, gone. Okay, and that wasn't enough, so they had to go down here from Point Loma and come all the way back up. Then they came back and they had to get ID also. They went down here and got Imperial Beach. And every one of those that's red is completely closed. The scary thing, all this kelp we were talking about earlier, and you know how much kelp is here, you know how much kelp is here, you know Cardiff has kelp beds, you know that there's kelp here, you know for God's Christ's sakes, there's kelp here, there's kelp here, there's kelp here, there is kelp here, there's 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 kelp, there's kelp, there's kelp. They didn't meet the kelp guidelines. With persistent kelp, they did not meet the kelp guidelines. That's how bad the habitat was for persistent kelp.
With all of that.
That is, by the way, when we look at the EcoTrust data and all the surveys of all the fishermen, all the spear fishermen, all the surf fishermen, the boat fishermen, the kayakers, the commercial guys, the lobster guy, the urchin guy, the netter, the swordfish guy, the shrimp, the prawner. When we added all those guys up, this is 78 to 83% of the waters we fish most commonly.
Unbelievable.
So what was the economic damage projected for this one?
Total. Absolute.
It was determined that this would wipe out the commercial sport fishing fleet, put them
Yeah.
out of business.
Yeah, it would just take them out.
wipe out
Anybody with a
diving.
boat smaller than,
60
17
feet.
feet, they can't go anywhere. Out of La Jolla,
Yeah.
Newport Harbor, where are you going to go?
Well,
Or a kayak?
let's understand,
Yeah.
these are the eco-terrorists here, okay? Now, they obviously came to the table with the biggest dream they could envision. This is their wet dream, okay? We came to the table, we want to satisfy SAT and give them as little as possible. They want as much as possible. We want, who's going to determine is SAF, is the scientific, and, I mean, we just turned in our second proposal today. It was due at 5 o'clock, okay? And believe me, I've been working since last week, long hours getting it ready. And we emailed it in at 5 o'clock today. And from our first proposal that came back and they said, oh no, you didn't give us enough of this and you didn't score high enough here and there and here and here. Now I've given them a little more. Because they won't tell me what will qualify. All they'll tell me is whether I did well enough or not. So these guys went for the world.
Yeah.
Because that's who they are. They want it all, and you and I need to never fish again.
They made it pretty clear.
Yeah.
They made it pretty clear to us.
But this is who we're fighting with.
Yeah, that's what,
This is what we sit and argue with.
This is when fishermen were going, well, there's this particular facet of fishing we have a thing with, and there's this fisherman says we have this thing. Well, look, get it straight. There's your two types. That's it. You go this or the other two, and that's it. So my position has been, everybody needs the same habitat. We don't need access to the ocean. That's the problem. Is are we going to give up the access? You want to work on fisheries management with me? I'll sit down at the table with you. If you think that too many lobster are being taken, I'll sit down with you and talk about it. If you want to just tell me we just don't go in there anymore, I have a real problem with that. When you tell me that there's economic benefits to this, I have a real big problem.